for Coach Mittie, and we'll start here on the second row on the left.
Yeah, Coach, just on the environment and how much that may have played into your fast start.
Well, I think it could go one of two ways. You could come out a little bit tight, or you could come out energized. And yeah, I think we saw our group was excited to play. I thought we played at a faster pace in that first quarter. You know, the game got bogged down after that. It got bogged down with a lot of whistles, a lot of Portland likes to kind of junk it up defensively, and you combine that with the whistles, there wasn't much flow after that. First quarter, there was a lot of flow, and we played really well in that quarter. So I thought the crowd was fantastic. I would echo the same thing the players said, is that, it's great to walk out there and have people there early, have people when you get out. We know even on a 3:30 on a Friday that that's not easy to do, so we don't take it for granted. We're fortunate here. We've had good crowds all year, but it was a special crowd, and the students were great as usual.
Go to the front row right.
Coach, Gabby talked about the fact, great start, but then you got to learn how to extend it. With just one-day turnaround, how do you teach them, how do you help them extend that start to carry through the whole game on Sunday?
Yeah, I think our bench has got to continue to give us more consistency. They were inconsistent. We had some turnovers, even at the end of the third when I'm trying to rest a couple people. We had turnovers, gave them 4 points, so more consistent. And that's not easy to do coming off the bench when the game is chaotic and the game is not it's not easy to do in a game like that because you're not coming in getting into the flow of the game. You hear that constantly. Well, just come off the bench, get into the flow. There wasn't any flow. Not much. And so that wasn't easy on them. But I think that would certainly help. I think for some of them, this was their first experience, so it was good to get them on the floor, and I think they'll benefit going forward.
Go to the back row.
Coach, you dissected that press in that first quarter, and you mentioned the game got kind of junked up there, but did they change something about their press, or did you just not handle it quite as well after that?
I thought I didn't see any significant changes in them. I think what we did is, the press has a tendency to wear on you. And if a player takes off or a player gets fatigued out there and they're supposed to fill a gap, maybe that timing's off. And I just think that happened to us. And then I do think that when we rotated players in, they were coming into a game that was pretty chaotic, and they didn't settle into that chaos very well.
Front row right.
Gabby's been inconsistent, I guess, offensively this season, but how big was it to have a veteran come up in a game like this, especially in that fourth quarter when she had 9 points, I think?
I think she's had a good look to her the last 5-6 games. The ball's really she's had a good look to her. She made a lot of right plays today when we needed them. We wanted to get in the middle of the floor, and you go back on film, you're going to see her get to the middle of the floor. She got to the free throw line there. She got the ball to Lee, and then, she was able to settle in after she missed her first early threes. I think she missed her first threes. But she's one that, like it or not, she thinks every shot's going in. And she has that confidence, and I feel like she's got a good look to her right now.
Go third row on the left.
Coach, second half, Portland shot over 50%. Was there anything they changed offensively to be more efficient?
Well, I didn't think we were very good defensively in the second half. I thought they drove us. I thought they got us too deep. They got us in some one-on-one post-ups down low. And it wasn't just posting up where you had to enter it. They dribbled to the post. And we've got to be more physical out front. I do think our guards got hesitant. We had guards out there with 3 fouls, 4 fouls, and they didn't want to pick up another one. And I thought Portland took advantage of that. Stylistically, we don't face a lot of teams like Portland where they're drawing Lee away from the basket. Big 12's got more traditional post. We knew that was going to be a little bit of a challenge. I just think we need to be more physical, not down low. We need to be more physical on the perimeter and not let them get as deep as they did.
Go second row middle.
How nice is it that after this next game is over, you and your staff, typically? Just have a 2-minute walk back to your offices to start preparing for Sunday instead of doing this in a hotel room or something like that?
Yeah, they keep telling us we're not allowed to use the offices much, so we have to use like off-site stuff or something like that. So I don't know. It's nice to have a 5-minute walk to our site. So it's nice to be at home. It's nice to be able to quickly share the victories with family, and it'll be nice to get back to work here as soon as I'm done talking to you guys.
Go third row on the right.
Coach, could you just speak to the challenges that Portland presented today and maybe how your team overcame some of those stylistic changes you kind of touched on a few minutes ago?
Well, I'll just go back to the chaos. The best I can compare them to is that they play a little bit like West Virginia and Texas in terms of the press. Then they go back into the zone, and so they're not going to give you the many single post-ups with Lee. And so, and then I'll just go back to the game got very bogged down, right? There wasn't much flow to it, and when the game had flow to it, we played very well. But I think, what can we learn from it? Well, this time of the year, you take some commonalities that your next opponent might face, but there might not be any. There might not be very many. So you just go to the next game, you go to the next scout, you do what you can do better. And I think that we got to correct when they made their run, regardless of who we play. I did not like our discipline on the back doors. And on out-of-bounds plays, we had some players fall asleep on some pretty simple things, and we've got to correct those things. But having said all that, I think that I think we needed a game like this. I do. I think we needed a game that we were under duress. I think we needed a game where we had to handle some chaos, handle some shot clock things, and I think we got a good test, and that'll benefit us going forward.
Last question for Coach, second row left.
Yeah, I'm curious about not being able to use your office. I imagine that's part of the neutralizing of
Yeah.
the event. And what other examples are there like that?
Well, we're allowed to use, I guess we're allowed to use it a little bit, but they do try to make it as neutral as you can, right? So the commonalities would just, or the areas that training rooms all need to be here. So we don't use our ice basketball facility for that. If you schedule an auxiliary practice, every team here can use ice facility. So that, from that standpoint, that's pretty normal. But there are some things that they do make everything neutral. You noticed it in the arena. The arena is situated differently as well. So, I said before the tournament that you play all year for it to be different, and the different is good. And I would agree with that. You play all year to earn the right for this time of the year to be special, this time of the year to be different. And so we're enjoying that.
All right, Coach, thank you. Congrats on the victory.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
We'll have